Good morning, class 11th. Today's topic is ideal gas equation. This topic is from the chapter of states of matter, unit 5 of syllabus of class 11 CBSE. And you're watching the channel by Seema Makijani. Hope you like the concept. We would be doing the derivation and the numerical practice for this particular topic. Now, coming to the derivation part. Now, the ideal gas equation is derived from three gas laws. The first gas law is your Boyle's law, which says volume is inversely proportional to pressure, is your Boyle's law. The second is your Charles law. Volume is directly proportional to temperature in Kelvin scale, is your Charles law. And the third is volume of a gas is directly proportional to the number of moles of the gas, which is your Avogadro's law. Summation of these three gives us the relationship that the volume therefore is directly proportional to moles of the gas, temperature upon pressure from these three equation number 1, 2 and 3. This is what we get. Using this particular equation, we can say therefore PV is directly proportional to NT. Now to change the proportionality constant to the equality, we need to introduce a proportionality constant to change this sign. So your PV is equal to a constant K N T. Now this constant for the gases is written as R, which is called as your universal gas constant. So the relationship becomes PV is equal to nRT is your ideal gas equation used for all numericals. Since it is derived from your gas laws, there is no need to use separate gas laws for numericals. You can solve most of the numericals by using the ideal gas equation directly. Now coming to this universal gas constant. Now this constant has fixed values, and if you want the values of R to be determined, what you can do is R would be equal to PV by NT. By using the units of pressure, volume, moles and temperature in Kelvin, you can get the values for R. The three values for R that you should know are 0.0821. This value is in liters, ATM, Kelvin inverse, mole inverse. Now the Kelvin inverse and mole inverse would always be there because the denominator is moles and temperature. The second value is 0.083, which I advise to use because it is a 3-digit after decimals, while this would have a 2-1. This is liters, but the unit of pressure here is bar. Rest remains same. Of course, there is another value for R which we are not using in this chapter because it is 8.314 joules, Kelvin inverse, mole inverse. Mind you, we would only be using these two because our interest is in gas equation where we will require pressure, temperature, volume, etc. We do not require joules, that is the energy parameter we do not require. So this particular R value will be used in chapters where you have energy concentrations, that is the next chapter which you would be having thermodynamics. So your R value is used there in electrochemistry and in thermodynamics, not here. So the two values that are of importance to you for numericals are 0.0821, mind you, please use this when the pressure is in atmospheres. 0.083 is to be used when the pressure given is in bar. The question is, why do we call it an ideal gas? Now, do we have such a gas? The answer is no. There is nothing called as an ideal gas. An ideal gas is the one which obeys all the laws at all temperatures and pressures, which is never possible. We do not have any such gas to us which will obey your gas laws under all set of conditions. So ideal gas is hypothetical. But all gases do behave like an ideal gas at some temperature and pressure, which means for all numericals, when you are using this ideal gas equation, you are assuming that your gas is behaving ideally. All gases do obey the gas laws at some point or the other, that is at some pressure or the volumes and the temperature concentrations, and we consider that we are solving all the numericals assuming that the gas that you are using or you have in numerical is an ideal gas, that is, it is obeying all the gas laws. That is the reason you can use this particular formula for all your numericals. Is that fine? So I remind, there is nothing called as an ideal gas in the market. All your gases do behave ideally, that is, they do obey the gas laws at some temperatures and pressure conditions, and we assume that your numerical is solved only under those temperature and pressures. So for your numericals, you would be using PV is equal to nRT. Moving on further, coming to the first question, you have to use your ideal gas equation and prove that the density of a gas is directly proportional to its pressure. That means we are trying to derive a relationship of density and pressure. Since we have to begin from PV is equal to nRT, your ideal gas equation, we very well know number of moles is nothing but the mass of the gas upon the molecular mass of the gas, RT, where W is the weight of the gas and capital M is the molecular mass. Now, we also know that density is equal to mass upon volume. Therefore, what I would do is, I would rearrange this equation as Pm is equal to W by V RT. Now pay attention. Now this W by V is nothing but your density. Fine. So moving on further from here, can I say Pm therefore is equal to dRT? This would also be used in numericals, so you can keep this expression handy with you. So this is one of the expressions. Moving further, can I say from this relationship, we very well know that molecular mass, universal gas constant at a particular temperature and temperature, these three things are constant. So I would be taking these three towards the right. So what am I left with? I am left with P is equal to dRT by M, where, as we just said, these three are fixed. So these three values are constant. If these three values are constant, can I say that P is equal to constant D? Hence, I would conclude that P is directly proportional to D. That was the agenda of the question. I hope this is clear. So the pressure of the gas is directly proportional to the density of the gas. Moving on to the next question. Calculate the temperature of 4 moles of the gas, that is N is given to you as 4, occupying 5 decimeter cube. Just a reminder, dm cube is same as liter. Fine. So your 5 liter, so your volume is equal to 5 liters, and a pressure given is 3.32 bar, and you are asked the temperature to be found. So the formula used is PV is equal to nRT. Since you have to find the temperature, I am rearranging the expression as T is equal to PV upon nR. Now we would substitute these values. Your pressure is 3.32, volume is 5 liters, number of moles given is 4, and the R now is the catch. Which R value will you use? Because it is given in bar, therefore your value for R will be 0.083 liters, bar, Kelvin inverse, mole inverse. So I would substitute this value of R here, giving me this value as 0.083. On substituting these values, you will get your answer calculated, and your answer is 50 Kelvin. Is that fine? Moving on to the next question. What will be the minimum pressure needed to compress 500 liters, that is dm cube, of air at 1 bar to 20 dm cube at 30 degrees C? So let's first of all write down the data given to us. Your first volume given is 500 dm cube. Your pressure also given is 1 bar. The initial volume and initial pressure are given to you as 1 bar, and that's the volume. The temperature given is 30 degrees C here. Now if you have to change the pressure to P2, and this is to be calculated. When you change the volume to V2, which is given as 200 decimeter cube, the temperature change is not shown, which means temperature remains constant. As I said, all your numericals can be solved from the ideal gas equation. So your PV is equal to nRT. Now in this gas, the amount of gas does not change. Since the amount of gas for this question does not change, your N is also same, that is constant. Hence what is changing? Your volume is changing and your pressure is changing. Temperature is constant, N is constant and R is constant. So these three things are constant. So your PV is equal to constant. Hence the formula that we can use is P1V1 is equal to P2V2. Hence substituting the values into this, your pressure 1 here would be what? 1 bar into what is the volume 1? 500 is equal to pressure 2 is to be calculated. What is the volume? 200. Both the units should be same. There should not be a change, and when you calculate the P2, it comes out to be 500 divided by 200, which is equal to 2.5. Now please don't forget what are the units. The units will be as given for the pressure. So your answer would be 2.5 bar. Moving on further to the next question. The next question says a vessel of 120 ml capacity contains a certain amount of gas, which is not given, at 35 degrees C and 1.2 bar, which means you know the pressure 1, you know the volume 1, you know the temperature initial. Fine. The gas is transferred, the same amount of gas is transferred, which means the number of moles remains the same. You are not changing the amount. To another vessel, when you transfer it to another vessel, the volume is changed. So your V2 is 180 ml. Your volume is changed and your temperature is also changed to 15 degrees C. And you have to find the final pressure of the gas when you have transferred it, which means pressure, volume and temperature are changing. Number of moles and your universal gas constant, as you know, is constant. As I already said, all numericals can be solved by the ideal gas equation. PV is equal to nRT. Out of this, your three things P, V and T are changing. So PV upon T, which are changing, is equal to nR, and nR remains constant. Since this is equal to constant, your formula would become PV by T is equal to constant. Changing the formula for different changes of temperature and pressure and volume, your formula now can be written as P1 V1 upon T1 is equal to P2 V2 upon T2. We will substitute the values and then you can do the solving of it yourselves. Now what is the pressure 1? 1.2 into what is the volume 1? 120 upon what is the temperature? 35 degrees. Please do not make an error. You will not write it as 35 degrees. Please add 273 to it and write it as 308. That's the common place of error. Pressure 2 you have to find out. Volume 2 is 180 ml. Please check that the volume units should be same on both. Upon temperature is 15 degrees C. As always said, no numericals in chemistry are solved with temperature in degrees C. Change this also into Kelvin, add 273 to it, you end up in 288. If you solve this, you will find the value of P2 and it would come out to be, I am giving you the value, solutions and the calculations can be handled with you. So the value is 0.748. What will be the unit? The unit will be as taken for the pressure here. So the units are in bar. Fine. We'll move on to the next question now. The next question says, you have to calculate the volume occupied by 8.8 grams of CO2 gas at 31.1 degrees C. Please convert it into Kelvin at 1 bar pressure. As I already said, PV is equal to nRT. Now out of this, you need to calculate the volume. So you do not know the volume which is to be calculated. The pressure given is 1 bar. The number of moles are not given, but you can calculate the number of moles of CO2 would be its weight upon molecular mass, which would be 8.8 divided by the molecular mass of CO2 comes out to be 12 plus 16 plus 16, which makes it 44. So you can substitute your number of moles is equal to 8.8 divided by 44. The temperature given is 31.1, but it is in degree C. Please convert it into Kelvin. That is 31.1 plus 273, which would be equal to 304.1 in Kelvin. You are left with the value of R. The R value depends on the pressure. The pressure given is in bar, so your R value will be 0.083. So your answer in this case is volume therefore would be equal to 8.8 by 44 multiplied by 0.083 multiplied by 304.1 the temperature divided by the pressure, which is 1. On calculation, this value comes out to be 5.05, and what will be the units? Your R value is 0.083 liters, bar, Kelvin inverse, mole inverse. Therefore, the volume is to be reported in liters. Am I clear on that? I hope you are understanding the concept of numericals. For those of you who are normally struggling on numericals, I hope this class helps you out. Coming to the next question, calculate the total pressure exerted by 8 grams of dioxygen and 4 grams of dihydrogen. The volume is given, the temperature is given, and the number of moles can be calculated, which means you will be calculating the pressure. Now the pressure total is equal to pressure of oxygen plus the pressure of hydrogen. Now, assuming that these are ideal gases, we would say PV is equal to nRT. So the pressure of O2 would be equal to moles of O2 into R, the temperature remains same, by V. So this value would come out to be, after solving, you can get this value from the solutions where moles of oxygen here would be 8 divided by what? 32 into RT by V. I am not substituting this, I will tell you why a little later. Similarly, for the pressure of hydrogen, on the same lines, pressure of hydrogen would also be moles of hydrogen RT by V. Now the moles of hydrogen here is equal to 4 divided by what is the molar mass? 2, because you have always it to be H2. So twice RT by V is your pressure of H2. Now since we want P total, what I would do is my P total is equal to 8 by 32 RT by V for oxygen plus 4 by 2 RT by V for hydrogen. Hence, I would take RT by V common, and 8 by 32 comes out to be 0.25, 4 by 2 is 2. So this value, that is your pressure, would come out to be, you will have to substitute R, T and V from. This is your temperature, this is your volume, and R value you know. This is 2.25. Now, substituting the value of R, now that depends what do you want the pressure in. I would report it in bar. So R is 0.083. Temperature given is 27, which is becoming 300, divided by the volume, which would be 1 decimeter, that is 1 liter. Substitute this, you would get your answer for P total after calculation, and this value calculated and report the result as 56.025. Don't forget it is in bar. Is that fine? So we have just found out the pressure of each component. Since the R, T and V are common, the temperature and volume remain same, R you very well know is constant. So rather than separately calculating it, I have taken your RT by V as common here and added the number of moles. Is that fine? Moving on to the next question. 2.9 grams of a gas at 95 degrees C, please convert it into Kelvin, has the same volume, means volume remains same, as 0.184 grams of hydrogen gas. At 17 degrees C, the temperature is changing. at the same pressure. Therefore, V and T are constants. Also, you know R is also constant. So, V, T and R are constant. Now, what is changing? You have got 2.9 grams of a gas is related to hydrogen. That means number of moles are changing and temperature is changing from 95 degrees C to 17 degrees C. So, when you substitute the values, you will, as I already said, your formula would be, assuming that both the gases are ideal, PV is equal to nRT, your PV by R is equal to NT, and this is a constant. Since this is a constant, your formula changes to N into T is equal to constant. So, if you have N1 T1, it is equal to N2 T2, because for both the gases the volume and the pressure and the R are constant. Now, or else I can write this as it is a certain gas. Moles of the certain gas, temperature of that certain gas is equal to moles of H2 and temperature of H2. I would now be substituting these values here. Now, once you substitute these values, what is the moles of the certain gas? You have 2.9 grams of the gas given to you. The molecular mass you do not know, so I am writing it as M, and that is to be determined. Into temperature of the certain gas is 95. Please don't forget, you cannot write 95, you have to write it as 368 by adding 273 to it, is equal to moles of hydrogen. The moles of hydrogen will be 0.184 is given to you, divided by 2 because the formula of hydrogen is H2, multiplied by the temperature given is 17 degrees C. You have to convert it into Kelvin, so it is 290. From this you get your M comes out to be, the value of M can be found out as 2.9 into 368 into 2 divided by 0.184 into 290. So, you need to solve it. Once you solve it, your answer for this question comes out to be 40. Since the question is molar mass, it is not molecular mass, so your answer should be grams per mole. Had it been molecular mass, then your answer would have still been 40 by calculation, but you would have reported it as U. Is that okay? Moving on to the last two questions of the class. At 0 degrees C, the density of a certain oxide of a gas at 2 bar is same, which means density is same. That is the first information, as that of dinitrogen. You are using an oxide gas and it is same for a nitrogen gas. The pressure is changing from 2 bar to 5 bar. Find the molecular mass, and the molecular mass are changing. These are changing, of course, because the gas is changing. So, the formula that we know is PV is equal to nRT. When I talk about this, PV is equal to nRT, substituting PV, since you have to find the molecular mass, I am changing number of moles into weight upon the molecular mass RT. Now, from this expression, we very well know that by rearranging this, I can get Pm is equal to W by V RT, which is nothing but Pm is equal to D, the density from here, RT. This was the first question of today's class where I had derived this relationship. So, your Pm is equal to dRT, but the density in both of them is same. As given, density is same for both of them. R you know is same, and temperature also remains same, that is 0 degrees C. So, your right hand side remains constant, hence Pm is equal to constant for this question. So, the question can be solved as P1 M1 is equal to P2 M2, where you would change the pressures. Instead of 1 and 2, I have taken 1 for the oxide and 2 for the hydrogen. So, the pressure of the oxide as given is 2 bar, multiplied by molecular mass of the oxide you do not know, this is to be calculated. The pressure of the hydrogen gas, is it given somewhere? Sorry, it's dinitrogen, I'm sorry. It was dinitrogen, doesn't matter to us much. So, the dinitrogen gas here, the pressure comes out to be how much? Given as 5. The molecular mass of dinitrogen it won't be dihydrogen. The question is for dinitrogen. So it would be 28. Had it been dihydrogen, this would have been 2. So your molecular mass of the oxide comes out to be how much? 5 into 28 divided by 2, which will come out to be 70. Since again, as I said, molecular mass is asked, so please report it as U. It is not molar mass. So you will report it as U. Moving on to the last question of the class. 34.05 ml of phosphorus vapors weigh 0.0625 grams. The temperature is given, the pressure is given, the weight is given, the volume is also given, and you have to find the molar mass of phosphorus. So PV is equal to nRT. Since the molar mass is to be found, please change your number of moles into given mass by molar mass. Now we need to substitute the values. On substituting these values, since your agenda is to find out the molar mass, I am taking molar mass is equal to weight RT by PV. Let's substitute these values. So your molecular mass can be calculated by, what is the weight given? 0.0625 into, what is the R value to be taken? R value will depend on the pressure. So 0.083 because it is given in bar. What else? You require the temperature. The temperature is this high, but it is in degrees C. Please add 273 to it, and on adding you will get 819. So you have 819 here divided by pressure and volume. The pressure is 0.1. What is the volume? Please, the volume given is 34.05. It is ml, which means you need to divide it by 1000 or you need to multiply it by 10 to the power minus 3. This is the place where you would make an error. This is in ml. This needs to be converted into liters because your R value is calculated by using volume in liters. On solving this, you will get your answer, and this value comes out to be 1247.5. Since you are asked molar mass, you will report it as grams per mole. Fine. With this, I close my class on ideal gas equation, derivation and numericals. Hope you are liking the way I teach and hope you will become more comfortable with the numericals of this particular chapter. This is the only topic that I have done for this chapter. In case of any other requirements, please keep posting your messages. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like the videos, please view them to the end. Also, please share my channel and the videos with other students groups. Thanks a ton. Bless you loads. Do well in life. Bye.